money, and I saved it up for 2 or 3 years, and I earned $1,000 and bought my first car. And okay, this is gonna really sound vintage. It was a 1957 VW with the canvas top, so the whole thing was like a sunroof. And it was the best car, and all my friends jumped in the car, and all my friends were so creative, and we were all art students, so they got in the car and they all painted the inside of it for me, and it was gonna be customized. And when it was done, I almost died. Like, what did they do to my car? But it was a legendary little VW that I drove around with a little tiny football window-sized window in the rearview mirror. And it was so little, you could hardly see. And I loved that car, I treasured it, and then I sold it for $100 profit to a friend of mine who promptly had it blown up with dynamite. It was the strangest thing. Somebody wedged dynamite into my sunroof. I'm like, baby, and blow it up. So,
Gave it a Viking funeral.
yeah. That's just such a great story. I'm so glad it came up.
My first car was just a little, I got a hand-me-down. My grandfather gave me his little Ford Escort, which is this tiny piece of crap car. But I was excited because it was mine and it was paid for, and my grandfather had it, so it was taken care of. Like, the guy got the oil changed every other week. I mean, it was just, that was his generation. You just took care of stuff, but I totaled that car in 2 weeks. Well, I didn't total it. The 6 cars that ran into me totaled it. But I was in it at the time.
I got a hand-me-down too from my dad. I actually bought it from him for $300, and it was a 1968 Electra 225. This is like bigger than a Lincoln. It's a boat, with electric everything, which was cool because it was the best makeout car.
Oh, yeah.
So it was drive-ins and parks all the time. That thing. And I literally drove it till it didn't. I drove it all the way, and it kind of just barely made it to the junkyard and stopped and never started again.
Oh.
So I drove it till it was done.
Yeah.
It knew where you were taking it.
Exactly.
It was like the elephant graveyard. Taking it there. Farewell, friends.
But I like that car. I love that car.
My first car was a '95 Ford Taurus. It was seafoam green, and it had been my older sister's, and I thought it was the coolest car ever. Like, everyone else, well, not everyone else, but a lot of other people at my school, because I went to a fairly uppity school, had I shouldn't say uppity, I should say something better. Foo-foo. A little foo-foo school. They foo-fooed me. Most of them had cool cars and sports cars and stuff like that, but I was quirky theater girl that didn't care and kind of a tomboy. And I didn't have a cell phone, so I glued a rotary phone in there. And I'd be like, "What's up, y'all? I'll call you later." I was that girl. I was real weird.
Rotary dial in the house.
It seemed like the best idea. Her name was Tori Taurus, and I loved her immensely. Don't you name all of your cars? Oh my gosh, yeah. Tori Taurus, Carly Corolla, Tori 2, Eddie Explorer.
I don't even remember that.
That's just how creative I am.
Well, I'm from Houston.
Get it, girl.
So my first car was a slant-back Cadillac.
Shut up.
Seriously, I had a pimp car. My first car was a pimp car. It was brown with gold fleck paint. Had brown leather seats. I had a pimp car.
That's amazing.
I was a pimp in high school. Get out my way.
Did you just backhand somebody or just?
Oh yeah.
And that's the way.
I got that. Yeah, it was huge. It was ginormous, and I was the little girl in this giant car, and I used to do the carpool to high school. I would pick people up, and we would jam out. Back then it was not. I had a Fugazi sticker on the back. We were those girls.
You listened to Fugazi in a pimp car.
Yeah, it's basically imagine your most screamiest scream music today, which I call Cookie Monster music. If you listen to Cookie Monster music.
Wow.
That was intense. It was intense.
That's hardcore.
I was hardcore back then.
Yeah.
Who knows who Fugazi is?
Wow, 3 people.
That's awesome.
Five. there's two.
Oh, hi.
Mine was this submarine with wheels,
That's awesome.
and it had a gun on the top, followed by like the Eiffel Tower. I don't drive. Yeah, I'm from Hawaii and I moved to Texas, so driving kind of just doesn't happen. Yeah.
You don't drive at all?
No.
Stop.
No.
If you could drive, what car would you drive? I'm sorry, I just took you.
No, no, please. I was actually going to ask you the exact same
I
thing.
I know nothing about cars. I like when it transforms into a robot. Thank you very much.
So you want a Camaro, in other words.
With custom faded racing stripes, yes. Sorry.
All right, let's try to go for something you might be able to answer. What's your favorite
Alcoholic beverage.
I was going to do that for the St. Patrick's Day question, but I wasn't quite sure the whole PG-13 audience, so I'm going to go with what's your favorite Sanrio character?
What's the Choco? I think.
Yeah, tell them
Yeah.
hold up.
I like him. Yeah.
Really, do you have to ask? Hello Kitty! My first job ever was at a Sanrio store.
Wasn't Tiffany Grant as obsessed with
She was
Hello
more
Kitty?
obsessed than me.
Really?
Yeah, but I was the one that ended up playing.
Oh.
I actually voiced the kitty in one show. So.
Really? Nice.
The kitty.
The kitty.
The kitty.
The kitty. You call her the kitty. She's been around for a long time and she's still on top.
Girl, who you telling?
I know.
One of the highlights of my adolescence was starting school and going to the Asian market with my grandmother and getting a Hello Kitty pencil box. And I got a different Sanrio pencil box every year. And they had like pencils and this little tiny pencil sharpener and a little eraser and stickers. And they're so compartments and they're kind of squishy and they're so awesome. My favorite, I really liked the frog. Karopi. I like the frog a lot. I like the Star Twins. Do you remember the
Little
Star
twin
Twins? Yeah, I like them too. And Hello Kitty. I loved Hello Kitty. Everyone loved Hello Kitty.
Yeah, right?
I love like Halloween Hello Kitty and St. Patty's Hello Kitty and Jewish Hello Kitty. I love all of them. I love her. So.
Actually, that would be Hello Kitty.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I directed 16 episodes of Hello Kitty's Paradise, so if I ever hear Hello Kitty again, I'm going to jump out of the studio.
I am wronging every one of you one at a time.
So, but I do. There's the only other characters I know were from a thing that I did called Secrets of the Fire Child. It was Sidious and Malta, and they were two Sanrio characters. It was way back in the way back, and they're lovely characters. I think they were marketed for like a day. And then they disappeared, but that's who I like.
Everyone's gonna hate me. I don't have a favorite character. I'm sick of it too because my first roommate, when I first apartment, first moved out of my parents' place into this apartment. My first roommate, I have two of them, but one of them was a Hello Kitty freak. I mean, decorated the entire apartment. Except for my little enclave of sanctuary, my room, which was like, no, you cannot come in here with that shit. Was Hello Kitty stuff everywhere, and she was, but it was kind of freaky because she was also like 45 years old, this woman. So she was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of strange because I had no concept of this before moving in with her, and I'm like, what is this Hello Kitty stuff? And then you ever made the mistake of asking her, oh my God, well there goes your evening. But having said that, I do like the pink one. Is that That's Myrtle. Yeah, I like the pink one because he seemed to be the one that reflected. When she explained it to me, she's like, oh yeah, he's kind of the badass. I'm like, well then that's my character. It's the cynical one, the one that's always got the look on his face. I'm like, well then that's the one that looks like he doesn't want to be in the show.
Why did you draw me?
Well, the kitty has a special place in my heart because Tony and I did that show together, and I played Fifi, the little, wasn't she a little sheep or a little, and that was a blast. And, but what was even more fun was my biggest residual check ever for singing the theme song.
She sang the theme.
which Tony was so kind enough as to inform our production company that the singer was entitled to a residual check every time it aired. So that was a huge surprise coming in the mail. Mommy was very happy. and also later I ended up directing a whole series of Hello Kitty Stump Village, wherein I sang that theme song and wrote those lyrics, and cast direct, wrote, and also did an episode that just is the best Hello Kitty ever. My kitty in Stump Village was a brat. She was a little biatch. And she used to have these fits of anger, and she'd take it out on the friends. And all of a sudden one day the friends ganged up, knocked on her door to play Ring and Run, and when she came out, they all turned around and farted at her. And I had to direct the scene and voice them. It was such a gift. So the kitty has a special place in my heart.
They edited the part where they beat the crap out of her too.
Yeah, right. You did see the ball of smoke and the, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the traditional questions. Your favorite word?
Start down there.
Yeah, please.
Start down there.
Start in the middle.
Trina.
Floxinoxynilophilaficatrix.
That's right. You said this one in AnimeUSA.
Oh, damn it. Thanks for taking mine.
You can always use floxinoxynilophilafictration.
Hell no.
That's fair.
That's so 20 syllables.
Which way are we going?
Okay, it's very pedestrian, but hope. I just like that.
All right, Monica, how about you?
Oh, it's kind of, I just like the word melancholy. I like the word melancholy. I don't know why, but I've always liked that word.
That's a good one.
Mr. Tatum?
God, I have a thing with words. I like all of them. This is like one of those, your two children dangling from your arms on a bridge. Which do you save? Which do you? I mean, like. For me, I'd be like, "Bye, kids. I'm gonna." Not my kids anyway. I don't know. No, I like really. I love really good insults. So I love calling people words that they have to be like, "Hey, wait." And then out comes the smartphone. Hey, that wasn't very nice. By that time, I'm gone. And to that end, troglodyte is a wonderful word. So I think I actually, in a battle of wits, the other person was not armed. I got away with calling someone a booger-noshing troglodyte, and they just stopped talking. Concede. It's nice. So I think today my favorite word is troglodyte. Tomorrow it might be something I
Me.
Yes, you.
Hi. I like Brobdingnagian and Crapulous. Because they're funny.
I'm going to use that now.
I'm changing. I want crapulous.
My turn?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of love in any form, the word love, all different languages, expression of love. I think it's fascinating that in our culture, in our language, our culture and language, we only have one word for love. In German, there's many words for different kinds of love: romantic love, family love, care and concern for the earth, other forms of that word. So I love that. I love love. And
you just don't hear it enough.
You
anymore.
don't.
That's why it's become a whole lot more enjoyable to hear
It's
it.
just awesome. And a little sidebar on that, the heart symbol is something that you know how Japan just has gone crazy with hearts for imagery and anime and everything. There was no heart symbol. That was something that was brought over, as I've heard, during the Kennedy years when there was some cultural exchange going on, and the Japanese just loved our symbol for heart and love, so they just went crazy with it. Kind of like how they have with our Valentine's Day, and then you have the Valentine's Day for guys, you have the one for the girls, and then
We were just
then
talking
you
about
hear-
that earlier.
we were talking about that?
It's
Okay,
like
see,
about
but I am
Valentine's Day,
psychic.
right? Yeah.
You know.
You were there. You were in tune already.
Well, how do you know?
We're calling you.
But really, word words that I love to use are old-fashioned, corny words, and one of my current ones is nincompoop.
That's a great
Isn't it
word.
just-
That's a great word.
And actually, just say, what a ninny. It's just so good.